Hello, in this lesson, we are going to look at the design thinking process for solving problems. So, what is the design thinking process? Well, it's a five-stage process to solve complex problems. Problems where there may be multiple solutions and the company is not sure which strategy to use to solve the problem. This model is different in that it looks at the needs of the user or the client and what they want. And it's a non-linear process, which means that you can do the stages in any order, or that you may repeat a particular stage. So the first thing to do is to identify the problem. Now, we are going to use this example here that customers have been complaining about a company's online shopping app. So we'll look at the theory first, and then we'll look at these examples in a bit more detail. The first stage is to empathize. And this is where you try to get a better understanding of what the problem actually is. And you want to get an insight into what the consumer or the client actually needs or wants. And you can do interviews, you can conduct research, studies to get a better idea about the problem and then move forward. Once you've gathered all of that information, you then need to analyze it and you need to clearly define the problem or problems. And we call these problem statements. The next stage is to ideate. And this is where you are going to think about possible solutions. So you'll need to think outside the box and brainstorm ideas. Then comes the prototype stage. And this is the experimental stage, where you take some of your solutions and you test them to see which ones work best. And lastly, the test phase. This is where you test your product or service with real clients in real life situations to see whether they solve the problem. Now, although this is the last stage, remember it's a non-linear process, so you can do these in any order. So let's go back to our example that customers have been complaining about a company's online shopping app. So for the empathize stage, you might conduct interviews or observe shoppers using the app. For the define stage, the problem statement might be that shoppers feel the checkout is lengthy. For the ideate stage, we are looking at solutions. So one such solution might be using simplified forms when checking out. For the prototype stage, you may experiment with a series of mock-ups, so a series of new apps that are used internally, and these apps will have new checkout processes, so you will test them internally to see which one of them is most effective. And then you would test your chosen app with real customers, and you would need to get feedback from them so that you can continue improving. So, moving forward, think about how you can use this model in different scenarios. Think about how it would look in different industries. And don't forget to download the guide in this lesson that you can use when using this model.